What's up guys, CJ here, and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid News Now, where we'll run down all the biggest news from around the entertainment world. In today's top stories, an incredible first look at Mera in Aquaman, Tom Holland plans to play Spider-Man for decades, and CW's new show Black Lightning officially not part of the Arrowverse. In our top story though, a little over 2 weeks into filming and on her very first day on set, we have our official first look at Queen Mera in Aquaman, and wow. It's on screen now, and no, that's not fan art, that's not a Photoshop, that is her real actual costume from the movie. In my opinion, this is perfect. This is about as close as we're gonna get to the comic book version of Mera ever. It's got the green scale bodysuit and that vivid red hair for some contrast. Really, all she's missing is the gold crown, and after this image, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see that at some point in the movie too. In fact, it was in her costume from Justice League based on that one picture we got from Zack Snyder. Speaking of that image, what's really interesting to me are the massive changes from that one to this one. Mera's costume is going to be completely different in Aquaman than it was in Justice League, or it's going to be in Justice League, I should say, according to this picture released by Zack Snyder. And you know, it's not a bad look at all in and of itself. It's a little more armored up, it's a little more intricate, and I kind of wonder if that was the point. It's armored up for a specific situation she's going to face in Justice League, maybe fighting side by side with Arthur against some of Steppenwolf's forces, but honestly, the new costume bodes really well for the movie in my opinion. And I say that because hopefully this is a sign of what's to come from director James Wan's take on Aquaman, because in my opinion what the character needs most is someone that's going to steer into the skid a little bit. Why do I say that? Well, Aquaman is a character, and making a movie about that character is a really tough task, and I think the best adaptation is going to acknowledge the public's perception of him. The whole, oh, you talk to fish thing, you know, it dates back to Super Friends in the 60s. But I think on top of that, you acknowledge that, but then you show them how badass he really is in the comics. You stay accurate. You don't overcorrect and artificially change the character to make him cooler. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere in there he gets a new costume too, James? Let us know what you think of Mera's new look in the comment section down below, but on to our next story. Let's swing on over to the MCU and talk about Spider-Man. Ahead of Spider-Man Homecoming swinging into theaters in just about a month and a half, it looks like our newest friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is pretty confident and, pretty comfortable in the role if his new comments are any indication. Speaking to Empire Magazine, Holland wants to play the character for a long time, saying, Peter Parker is a character we see in the comics as a 15-year-old boy and then as a 35-year-old man. So I have an idea of what I'd like to do, and I've pitched it and it's already been taken into the boardroom. It would be really cool if it pans out because it means I would be Spider-Man for a very long time. While we don't necessarily know what he means, I think that first part is really telling. To sum it up, I think Tom Holland just wants to give everyone what they want. And no, that's not more of this. I mean, it is, but it's not. Before I even dive into it, I agree with him. I think he's right, but it's one of those things about Spider-Man as a character that is so vexing. You've got him as a high schooler for a huge chunk of his life, and then as a college student for another huge chunk of his life, and then he's an adult for the vast majority of his published history. That's one of the things about Homecoming that seems to be dividing people the most, that Peter Parker is back in high school. They're tired of it. They think it's played out, even though really we only got that in one movie. So if Holland's plan is to play the character for more than a decade, to give everyone the high school student, the college student, the working adult, and the father Spider-Man, give everyone the version they're closest to over time, I'm all for it. There's a good chance here to have your audience watch your character grow as your film universe grows. Very much like people watched Peter Parker grow in the comics. And Lord knows Spider-Man has the villains and the backstory to support this kind of thing. Of course, ultimately, it's not up to him. It'll come down to Marvel and Sony. Reportedly, Marvel has a 3-film arc planned, but they're gonna have to renegotiate after Homecoming 2, and Sony might try to bring the character back into the fold then after success, or they might decide to leave it alone and not break up what's hopefully a good thing and a good partnership. Long story short, I guess, we're just gonna have to wait and see. On to our last story of the day though, let's talk Black Lightning. It's a huge day for that character, with the official first look trailer for his show dropping just earlier this afternoon, and it looks really good in my opinion. But we've gotten some other news about the show, overshadowed a little bit by the trailer, that some people might be disappointed by, but personally, I think is ultimately for the best. Long story short, Black Lightning is not part of the Arrowverse. And this news comes straight from the top, from CW president Mark Pedowitz himself, who confirms that there are no plans at this time for the network's 5th superhero show to converge with the other 4 shows, which just last fall met up for a massive TV event. This isn't really shocking news though. I mean, ever since the show was announced, people have been wondering where exactly it was going to be set, in the Arrowverse, in Supergirl's parallel Earth, or on its own. And now we have an answer, it's on its own. And this makes a lot of sense in my eyes. I mean, while Supergirl's tackling Kryptonian invaders, and the Flash is battling time-traveling villains of all kinds, the Legends of Tomorrow are battling the united forces of evil, and Arrow's taking on top-notch archers, Black Lightning's fighting a street gang. I talked about this in our breakdown, which you can check out linked at the end of the video, but ultimately this is a good thing in my opinion, because it maintains the thing that's most interesting about the show and their take on this character. He might be the most experienced hero and the most in control of his powers of any character CW's put on screen to date, but he's still just focused on his neighborhood. And I kind of want it to stay that way. So let me know what you thought of all of the top stories today in the comment section down below, but that's going to do it for me here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and be sure to check out our website for even more news, reviews, and interviews. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.